All right, back here in San Francisco, the annual Dreamforce convention is wrapping up, but it's not been without controversy. This week, Salesforce CEO Marc Benioff has made a number of statements about the city itself. At one point, he echoed the president's call to deploy the National Guard here.
And most recently, Salesforce pitched to ICE to rapidly hire 10,000 new officers and agents using his company's AI tech. And despite the controversies, Benioff touted this year's Dreamforce as the safest yet. He says it's thanks in large part to the 200 additional San Francisco officers who joined the ranks this week. New York Times San Francisco bureau chief Heather Knight broke both of these stories this week after she spoke to Benioff before the conference. Thank you so much for joining us, Heather, this morning.
Thanks for having me.
So we want to start with the ICE revelations. What did Salesforce offer and how far did those talks go?
ICE has been putting out a number of requests for information and proposals for contracts, and Salesforce has been responding to those. One that was leaked to me shows that they pitched ICE on their AI capabilities to hire 10,000 more agents and triple its workforce. They've had ICE contracts with the federal government for many years, including under the Biden and Obama administrations. But of course, Trump is using ICE much differently than the previous presidents and is really ramping up enforcement in American cities.
All right, so real quick, let's go back to last week because you spoke with Benioff before Dreamforce. Can you tell us what did he say about deploying the National Guard? And he has walked some of that back.
He gave me an interview from his private plane en route to San Francisco for the Dreamforce conference, and he said he was concerned about public safety. He kind of complained about having to hire 200 of his own off-duty officers to help with security, and he said if the National Guard could help fill the ranks of the SFPD, essentially, and serve as cops, he would be all for it.
And Heather, obviously, there's been a lot of backlash to those comments that he made about the National Guard. Have you talked to him since that initial interview you had, and what is he saying now?
He hasn't talked to me on the record, let's leave it at that. But he has tweeted a lot about how the city needs to, quote, refund the police department. He's been sharing a lot of tweets about that concept since I spoke with him, and before that, he's really insistent that the SFPD needs 1,000 more officers. He told me in the original interview he wanted a cop on every corner.
And you also spoke to key figures in San Francisco along with residents. What reaction are you hearing from people in San Francisco, especially given the fact that Benioff no longer lives here?
Right. He has been considered sort of the rare progressive tech titan in the Bay Area for a long time. He's very benevolent. There are hospitals named after him because he donated to help fund them. He gives to the public schools. He is generous, and that has continued. But he's long been considered liberal. He backed Hillary Clinton and held a fundraiser for her when she ran against Donald Trump the first time. He funded Prop C to tax his own business and other businesses for homeless services. So this is quite a shock to a lot of San Francisco city officials, this turnaround when he told me that he fully supports what Donald Trump is doing. And yes, he's a fourth generation native San Franciscan, lived here for decades, but since the pandemic, for about 5 years, he's lived on the big island of Hawaii and is buying up a lot of land there.
And Heather, you just touched on this, but this seems to be kind of a shift in Benioff's political leanings. And one of your articles notes that there are several Salesforce contracts with the government. Do you think this could have something to do with some of those shifts in his politics?
We're seeing a lot of Silicon Valley tech leaders kind of bow down, bend the knee, as they say, to Donald Trump. A number of examples of that. And Marc Benioff could be just joining that effort to get more federal contracts and not make Donald Trump angry. He said he fully supports him. The U.S. government is the #1 customer of Salesforce, worth billions of dollars to the company every year. So he does seem to be going for more. He said in his most recent earnings call that he's seeking more federal contracts.
Okay, before you go, we do need to touch on this. You also broke the story about billionaire Ron Conway resigning from the Salesforce Foundation board. How significant is that fallout, and are others distancing themselves too, as far as you've heard?
Yes, yesterday morning, Ron Conway, known as the godfather of Silicon Valley, sent a very pointed email to Marc Benioff. They'd been friends for 25 years. Ron Conway had served on the Salesforce Foundation board for 10 years. And they had spoken after my interview, but Ron Conway was not satisfied that Marc Benioff had really recognized the impact of his remarks or kind of grappled with the dangers of the Trump administration. So he sent him an email resigning and saying he didn't even recognize him anymore.
Do you think this is just a start as far as people who may be opposing Benioff's comments?
Wait and see. It seems like something new is happening on this story every day, so I'll let you know.
All right. Well, we'll be following all of your coverage. Heather Knight, we really appreciate you making time to speak with us. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.